Hello everyone, this is Ashwin here. In this video, we are going to see about the overview of time complexity and space complexity. So I am going to explain about what is time complexity and space complexity with some definitions. Let's start off with what is time complexity. So I'll just create a text for that. So first, time complexity. Time complexity is nothing but the total time taken by the algorithm to run. So total time taken by an algorithm to run, and the time complexity will be very helpful for doing performance analysis of algorithms. So performance analysis of algorithm. I'm just taking the notes in the runtime so we can able to come back and refer it later. So this is all about time complexity. It is the total time taken by an algorithm and the performance analysis of algorithm. So we can able to compare the different algorithms based on time. And the next one will be space complexity. Space complexity. Space complexity is almost similar to time complexity. It is also a total space taken by an algorithm to run. So total space taken by an algorithm with respect to input size. And the second point will be it includes both auxiliary space and input space. So what is auxiliary space means? It represents the additional space we are created. So input space will represent to the input size. We can consider an array of n size. So that is considered as the input space. To solve some problem, sometimes we have to create some additional space. So that space is called auxiliary space. So I'll just make a note for it. Auxiliary space represents extra space. So this is some points for the definition of time complexity and space complexity. So we will just arrange it on the side so we can able to revisit again. So why this time complexity and space complexity is very important for us. So while code development, anyone can write a code. So some code will be efficient, some code will be less efficient. So how can we say it is efficient and less efficient? So for comparing the performance of different algorithms, we have to use this time complexity and space complexity. So depends on the scenarios, we can able to go for any of the complexity. Let's go for an example. Let's say I have algo 1 and algo 2. Which of the algorithms is better for me to use? So both algorithms solve same problem. So same problem. So forgive my handwriting. So it's completely new for me to write in a sketchbook. So I want to choose best algorithm from these two. So we will be comparing the space complexity and time complexity. Let's say this algorithm takes 10 seconds to run. So I am saying in terms of time complexity, this algorithm takes 20 seconds to run. So again, mostly while dealing with time complexity, we don't represent the time in terms of seconds. I'm just stating an example. So this algorithm runs at 10 seconds and this algorithm runs at 20 seconds. So for this algorithm, if you say 5 megabytes and this algorithm takes only 1 megabyte. So out of these two algorithms, which one do you prefer? If I consider only time complexity, I will go for algorithm 1 because it takes only 10 seconds. But if you consider the space complexity, we have to go for algorithm 2 as it consumes only lesser space. So based on your application and use case scenario, you have to choose your algorithm properly based on this time and space complexity. So that is like a small example for this analysis. Now let's discuss some notations. So notations. In time complexity, we have three different types of cases. So the first case will be worst case. So worst case is represented by big O. Big O. So the notation will be a capital O. So this is worst case. So it represents the worst running time of the algorithm. And the next one will be average case. So in average case, the notation will be theta. And I will just draw the expression later. And the last case will be best case. That will be represented by omega. So best case means the best running time of the algorithm and average case is average running time of algorithm. In most of the cases, we will be always going for the worst case. So for defining some time complexity of an algorithm, we will always go for this big O notation. Okay, let's make it here. So this will be theta. So this that is this symbol and omega. So these three symbols we'll be using. Now that is for the notations. So let's draw a line. Now we will see about different types of complexities. So I'll just draw a diagram. So let's consider the x-axis as input size. And the y-axis will be time or space. So I'll just draw with a different color. So this is almost equal to null. So this time complexity is called constant time, that is order of 1. We can also call the big O notation as order. And the second one will be log n. So this will be log base 2n. Third one will be, so this is linear time, that is order of n. So this is n square. This is 2 power n. So this is called exponential time. This is called quadratic time. And lastly, we have factorial time, that is n factorial. So these are the different types of complexities you will see in general. Most of the time we will be dealing with these values only. Apart from these basic values, there are additional values like n log n, n cube, like that. There are so many time complexities are there. I'm just covering the basic ones which will be occurring most frequently. So now I will explain each time complexity with an example. So the first one will be order of n, that is constant time. Order of 1, constant time. So this time complexity is like instantaneous. When you add something like a equals a plus 1. So this is a constant operation. So you are just adding 1 to a variable and assigning it. These arithmetic operations are all constant time. Another example is if I equals 1. Now you are just checking a condition. So this is also considered as a constant operation. So when you are considering the time, if you consider the space means, let's say if you are creating a variable like b equals 1. So this variable is like a constant space. So creating these individual variables is also considered as constant space. So I'll just remove this thing also. Now the second one will be linear time. So that will be big O of n. So linear can be linear time or space. So here let's consider an array of n size. So n equals 5. So I'll just create an array of size 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you are traversing this array, like if you want to print the elements, you have to iterate every element in the array, right? So at that time, the time complexity will be order of n. And again, when you are creating the space, like for storing this 5 elements, you are creating an array of 5, right? So that is also considered as linear space. So you are creating the space for up to n. So that's why this is called linear time or linear space. And once more, the space complexity, it includes both auxiliary space and input space. So this is considered as an input space. So this is given to us. Auxiliary space means if you create an another array like this, means that is considered as auxiliary space. At that time, if you create an another array similar to this, so the complexity will be order of 2n. But mostly in big O notations, we will usually drop the constant values like this 2. So this will become order of n itself. So this is the overall time complexity of this problem. So after this, we have logarithmic time. So that will be big O of log n. So this will be log base 2n. The logarithmic time can be anything. So if you are using some trees, so let's I will just define it first. So if you ignore half of the input elements for each iteration, that will be considered as logarithmic time. So if you consider binary search in an array, so I just create an array. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's consider I want to search in this array. I want to go for 1. So I'll just compare the middle elements and go to left. So while doing this, I'm just ignoring half the elements like this 4, 5, 6. And again, if you consider these 3 elements, if I want to go for 1 means I have to go to left. So again, I have ignored half the elements. So finally, we have reached 1. So if you ignore half the elements in each iteration, so that will be considered as logarithmic time. So this example will be binary search. And the next one will be quadratic time. That will be order of n square. Order of n square. So this will be considered as quadratic. So here when you consider a matrix, so here I just consider n equals 3. So this is a 3 cross 3 matrix. So if you want to print the elements in the matrix, so you have to iterate all the elements in the matrix. So here this is a 3 cross 3 matrix, 3 cross 3. So when you traverse to the square of your input, that will be considered as quadratic. So here I will just mention matrix printing. So this will be printing an array. So here you are going to use only one for loop or while loop to print this array with a range of n. But here in quadratic, you will be using 2 loops with a range of n to print all the elements in the matrix. So 2 loops. So the next time complexity will be, and before that, here also we are going to have n square space, that is n equals 3. So but we are going to occupy almost 9 elements of space. So this is also considered as quadratic space. So all the examples I am just showing here, that is applied for both time and space complexity. The next complexity will be 2 power n, that is exponential time. So for this example, you can consider Fibonacci series or Fibonacci number. So if you do Fibonacci number in a recursive manner, the time complexity of that problem will be 2 power n. So n is that Fibonacci number. So I'll just show you how the problem works. So initially you will start with the higher element. Let's consider n. So for each recursion, there will be 2 branches. So this will be n minus 1 and this will be n minus 2. Again, this problem will create another 2 subproblem. So as you can able to see, on each level, the number of subproblems increases. So this will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 4, all will be in powers of 2. So that's how the exponential time series works. And the last one will be factorial. So for this n factorial, the example will be permutations of a given set or string. So permutations of a given set or string. So when you are going for some permutation problem, that problem complexity will be n factorial. So I just gave some basic examples for time and space complexity. So throughout the tutorial series, I will be solving some problems, or I will be explaining some problems with the help of this time and space complexity. Mostly we will be going for time complexity because that is much more important. You can obviously find the space similar to that. And once again, this is just a basics for time and space complexity. I didn't cover all of them, but if you have knowledge about this much means that is enough for competitive programming or even finding some overall time complexity and space complexity for some algorithms. So I think that's it, guys. This is about the overview of time and space complexity. If you have any queries, please leave a comment below. I will try to clarify that in a later video. And if you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe the channel for future videos. See you guys in the next video.